Hello, I'm Anna. Can everyone see the screen? I'm going to show you some cool videos a bit later, so I'd like you to actually see that. I'm Anna. I work for Accardo Technology in the UK. I'm a head of product there. I've been to some countries. I was made in Poland, lived in Ireland, currently living and working in the UK at Accardo. I'm in the space product/software development for about 15 years. And I do believe that sky is the limit. As you can see on this picture, that's me, jumping out of a perfectly safe plane. Yes, I do believe the sky is the limit, but there is a price tag to this, which I'm going to tell you about a bit later. So, the title of my talk is the Customer Experience or Tech Innovation. Now, imagine for a second that you're a CEO of your current company, the company you're working for. Now, you got some money to invest, and you can either heavily invest in customer experience or in technology innovation. Which way would you go? Where would you invest? Anyone for the customer experience? Cool. Anyone for technology? Interesting. I asked the same question in London a few weeks ago. I asked people to vote with post-it notes on the walls. Most of the people went for the customer experience. One person was very undecided, very in the middle, and a few people voted for technology innovation. But that's not really that important, because what's important is we had a really interesting debate after, really long, really interesting debate, and we discovered that maybe these things can't be isolated. Maybe they can't go without each other. So, I'm officially changing the title of my talk to the technology behind customer experience. Hope you don't mind. If you do, I won't be offended if you go to the other talk. So I'm here to represent Accardo. Are there any people from UK here, by any chance, who heard of Accardo? A single one? Cool. So Accardo, in a nutshell, we are the online-only supermarket, grocery supermarket, which means you can order your groceries, your bananas, milk, and all these things online through a mobile app or a website, and we'll deliver this straight to your kitchen. Not many people know, even in the UK, that behind this experience, there is another company. It's Accardo Technology. This is the company I work for. We are about more than 1,000 people right now, mostly developers. We are based in quite a few countries so far. We have a few offices in the UK, a couple in Poland, Barcelona, Sofia in Bulgaria. So we are definitely growing. And it's really exciting time for us, because together with Accardo Solutions, yet another company from Accardo, we signed quite a few international deals within the last few months, which means we are going to provide the same technology, the same experience to people all around the world. And I thought I'd mention we are hiring. If you just happen to be or live in the locations from my previous slide, just let me know later. So, I'm here today to talk about customer experience, and you can't really talk about customer experience without quoting Steve Jobs. So, here's the quote I selected for today. You've got to start with the customer experience and work back towards the technology, not the other way around. I really like this quote, but that wasn't my impression when I joined Accardo. There was 1,000 developers and just a handful of UX people. So I started exploring this topic a little bit more. I feel like a celebrity, all these pictures. So this is when I met Rachel. Rachel is our customer persona. She's a typical mom, a couple of kids, working part-time, kind of busy person to go to a traditional shop to do grocery shopping. And we like thinking about Rachel as our queen of Accardo. It just happens that most of our customers are women. But it gets even better than that. I heard one of our directors saying, the customer is no longer king or queen in this case. They are masters of the universe. I really like this. But actually, that made me think, why is customer experience such a thing? When I was growing up, nobody was talking about experience, about customers, about providing a good service. This seems like a relatively new thing. So I started exploring this topic a little bit more, and I found one interesting answer to that. So the answer, one of them, is that everything evolves over time. So basically, everything we work on goes through these stages of genesis. So this is where you have this big idea, and it goes to the custom build phase, and then it becomes a product, if you are lucky, and then it becomes commodity. And a lot of product management is focusing on getting from genesis to product. But I actually find that commodity is the most interesting part of it, and also responsible for the customer experience. Because what happens after this commodity is some sort of a war. And this war is actually a good thing, because the war triggers new ideas. So let me run through a quick example. Does anyone know what this is? That's a first telephone. This is when it was first custom built. This is the first telephone conversation, when Mr. Watson was calling Mr. Bell, or the other way around. I guess it was both directions, right? And this is when it becomes a product. At this stage, there is no turning back, because at this stage, everyone knows what a telephone is. And then it becomes a commodity. Everyone has a telephone. And then the war starts. The supply is greater than the demand. And what happens next is the next big idea, a mobile phone, which goes through the same stages, the funny shaped, custom built mobile phones. Then it becomes a product. At this stage, everyone knows what the mobile phone is. There is no turning back from that. And then it becomes a commodity. Just to double check, is there anyone here who doesn't own a mobile phone? Is there anyone here who never owned more than one mobile phone? Oh. Was it a... No, one after another. I was really hoping for one person, but it never happened so far. So I really believe we are in the war at the moment, and there are big ideas already being triggered. I'm going to talk about them a little bit later. I also found this interesting illustration. This is the evolution of economic value. If you just look at the red rectangle here, this is the time of war. We have more goods than we need. People are not really buying. We have a lot of goods. The only way to differentiate yourself or ask customers to pay a premium price is to deliver a better service. But the recent market research shows that even this is not enough. People expect experience. So your next task should be actually, how can we stage the experience for our customers? It's not even about the service anymore. I found it really interesting. So I have a lot of slides, a lot of videos, and I was worried that I will run out of time showing you all this cool stuff. So I'll show you the lesson learned here. Basically what we learned in the last 18 years is that if your product or a component of your platform or whatever your setup is closer to the left of this timeline, so closer to the genesis stage, it makes more sense to build it in-house. However, if it's more like commodity, more to the right side, you're right, then it might make more sense to outsource it. I'll show you what I mean a bit later. So let's come back to Accardo, to our case study for today. Do these names tell you anything? Do you recognize these names? These are the grocery supermarkets out there. the thing is, if you add a couple of more, or if you remove a couple, it won't really make any difference because there are so many of them. And what experience do they provide for our customers? They ask masters of the universe to leave the house and drive to their supermarket. They ask masters of the universe to wait in a queue and then drive back home only to discover that they forgot something essential. And what do they do next? Do they come back, repeat all of this? And how does it look inside? Imagine this is a layout of a typical traditional store. All the shelves with all the goods there. What Rachel needs to do in order to do her shopping, she has to walk around all these shelves and add the few things that she needs to her basket. A lot of walking, pretty much mostly walking, and a little bit of picking. Now, if she forgets something, that's extra walking. And if she brings her kids with her, it looks more or less like this. That's way more walking. And it's all, she adds products to the basket, but she also has to remove products from her basket because kids randomly. I see some notes here. So let's think for a bit, what's the actual problem we are solving here? Are you familiar with this saying that people don't want a quarter-inch drill, they want a quarter-inch hole in the wall? I'm not really sure what's the size of this drill in Greece, probably 3 millimeters, but you get the point, right? It's not about the drill, not about the tool, it's about the effect we want. And I like stepping back from this and say, people don't really want the drill, they don't want the hole in the wall. What they really want is the picture on the wall. And the same goes for Rachel. She doesn't want the trip to the store. She wants ingredients for her meals. And actually, what she really needs is 7 healthy dinners for her family. She obviously needs more meals than that, but you get the point. She doesn't need to go to the store to solve the problem. So this is how Accardo started. About 18 years ago, we thought there must be a better way to solve this problem. And it's actually a really great space to be, because it feels like being in the time travel business, when you give people their time back and they can use this time to something that truly matters to them. They don't have to waste it just to go to the traditional store. I'll be talking about this a lot, build, measure, learn. I hope it's all familiar to you. I'll show you some examples how we went through the years going through this loop again and again. So, how we started. About 18 years ago, we thought about our business model in these 3 parts. There must be a website or a mobile app when the customers can buy the food. There must be somewhere a warehouse where the order will be fulfilled. And there must be the delivery part. And then we thought, actually, a website, something that already exists. Even 18 years ago, a website was a commodity. So we didn't bother writing it from scratch. Same goes for service delivery. We didn't build vans, we just leased some of them. And we knew what we really need to focus on is the warehouse. Because the warehouse is very much to the left of the I showed you earlier. This is the big idea. This is something unique, not a commodity. So how do you start? You can't really start with a big idea just building this. You need to do some testing, some minimum viable product. And in our case, it was pretty simple. We pretty much built a store or warehouse like a store, but bigger. We had trolleys there, same like in the traditional store, but bigger. And instead of real customers, we had our own employees going and repeating the process, exactly what Rachel would do. And then this way, we realized, yes, there is demand for this. Now we can focus on automating the warehouse. So we thought, automating a warehouse? Surely somebody done that before. So we jumped right to outsourcing. and we installed this thing there. This was like a train traveling around the warehouse, and our people had to put some products here, and they were arriving somewhere else, and it didn't work really. It didn't, because it was super slow, and products were falling off this thing, and you had to pick the products like 3 times, add some extra labels on top of them. It was really much a disaster. So a few £1 million later, we decided to come back to the drawing board and think again, what is the problem we are trying to solve? Our employees are 90% walking and 10% picking. That's not ideal, not efficient really. So we thought, how about we move the baskets on their own and keep people pretty much stationary. This is how it looks. Hopefully you can see that. We built about 30 kilometers of conveyor belts, and all these baskets are traveling on their own. So now we can focus on paying people for the actual picking of goods, not for walking. And if you would like to have a closer look, if you were your bananas in your order, this is how you would travel through the warehouse. Pretty much like in a roller coaster. Hope nobody gets sick. The thing is, when you build things in-house, the sky is the limit. You can do whatever you want. So let's have a look what our people are doing now. This is Emma. She's just walking a few meters just to the products nearby. She's picking something that she knows she needs to pick and puts it to the red basket, which is the customer basket. Job done, next basket arrives. Simple as that. What we also achieved here, we almost made it impossible for her to make a mistake, because she doesn't have to walk around the whole warehouse. She has very limited choice of products she needs to put to the basket. So that's helped her as well. That worked. So build, measure, learn. That works. Can we do anything better? Remember, we are building this in-house, which means we can do whatever we want. Sky is the limit. So we thought, how about not only we move the baskets around, so they travel on their own, but also all the products, all the shelves. So Emma wouldn't have to walk anywhere. So let me show you how it works. This is the same job from 2 different perspectives. Our employees don't even have to think anymore. Whatever comes to you on your right, move it to the left. Job done. This was a massive win for the company. The efficiency of this is like doubled the previous solution. So that works. Build, measure, learn. We learned that works. Sky is the limit. How about we think of something even better than that? Once we have happy employees that don't have to walk anywhere, they don't make mistakes anymore because we made it impossible for them, how about we use all this space around them and stack all the boxes, all the products, all the customer baskets into this one giant grid, and have some bots on top of this. The bots would shuffle the things for us, right? This is how it looks. This is a giant grid, and these are the bots that all day long what they do is shuffle the boxes. Your shopping, your bananas, your milk. If you look closely, you can see that they go to a location, they sit down, and either drop a box or pick a box. And this is massive. These are hundreds and hundreds of robots on one grid. The fun fact is they don't know about each other. They're completely unaware of another bot around them. So knowing that, all you want when you watch this is to see a crash, but they don't want to crash. I'm sure they did in the past, but they don't anymore. And this is the technology we sell to people all around the world now. They don't crash. I spoil it for you, they won't. Build, measure, learn, that works. I can hear you saying, oh, you have all these bots, you probably fired all these people working there. That is not true. We still need people. We still need people who will move products from one box to another. I would lie if I said we didn't try using robots. Here is our experiment, our robotic arm that tries to pick a product from one box to another. What I'm not showing you here is when it doesn't work. And trust me, picking products from one place to another is actually a very complex task. Humans excel at this, but robots are really terrible. Imagine, think of the range of products. You have hundreds of thousands of products. Some of them are really light, some of them are very delicate, some of them are heavy. There are such a variety of different options. Easy for us. So I'd like to encourage you to actually stop thinking that machines will come and take over our jobs one day. I truly believe that it's all about this symbiotic, working together, doing what we do best, what machines do best and what we do best, but working together. So now I can hear you asking, that's all cool, but what's in it for Rachel? Does she even care about the technology and what we do? I don't think so. She doesn't have to, because all she expects from us is large, I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. She expects a large range of products, no substitutes, and on-time delivery. And it might seem not connected, but actually, without this technology, we wouldn't be able to provide this experience to her, this service and then experience. Now I can hear another challenge from you. You might say, that's a very expensive way of delivering customer experience. And I agree with you, because not everything goes to the plan. This is the price you pay when you build things in-house. We never planned to squash this box. We never planned to smash all these products around the warehouse. But these are the things that happen. So you need to come back to the timeline and think again, is this something we really have to build in-house? Are we happy to pay this price? And sometimes, actually, maybe it's not the building phase we need. Maybe what we need is a simulation of how our software or our business would work. So I'd like to show you a couple of videos of our simulation. This is our first generation of the warehouse. Hopefully you can see it on the screen. The lines are the conveyor belts. As you can see, it's a big environment. And the little dots are customer boxes that you're shopping, bananas. This way, we can simulate what would happen if we change the workflow from this to that. We don't have to build it and test it. I know I said build, measure, learn, but sometimes simulate and measure, that is good enough. And this is a simulation of the new grid. As you can see, it has a lot of bots on top of it, and the people you can't see. And it's also very high, and you can see what happens to the boxes to your shopping. They are moved, shuffled from one place to another all the time. My other answer to the challenge of technology is expensive is, why don't think about AI? All the AI needs is data. I should actually say clean data. But think about the benefits. First of all, AI is for everyone. AI has no good feelings. However, if you're not careful, you can introduce all the human biases to it, but that's a different story. And AI is simply a business tool like every other tool. You don't have to invest millions of pounds or euros in that. couple of examples how we implemented AI. Our first implementation was in a call center. We introduced a machine learning that would read all the emails. So not that our call agents don't have to read them, but now we have all the emails tagged. Is it a happy email or a not happy email? And our agents can quickly go to the unhappy emails, which is a win-win situation because then our customers are happier because we deal with their problems faster, but also our agents are happier because they deal with less angry customers. So it's a win-win. Instant shop. If I ask Accardo, bring me stuff without specifying what I want, Accardo learned about me and it knows what I'm most likely to buy. This would be me, my stuff. I heard Alexa is not very famous here just yet, but someone might be the lucky winner of getting Echo Dot. This is what we developed for Accardo as well, an Alexa skill, when we just say, Alexa, add milk to my basket, and she knows which milk I drink. She won't bring me any other milk. I will get the one because Accardo knows me, because we use AI. Oh, I didn't expect any music here, but wait, here we go. This is really, can we turn off the music actually? Thank you. This is another example of use of AI in our optimization algorithm. I'm sure you heard of a traveling salesman problem. This is an unsolvable problem, which we are trying to solve, adding some extra problems on top of this. We have to be with our customers on time. We need to make sure your bananas fit to this exact van that goes on this route. We need to make sure that enough products are in the freezer in the van. There are so many constraints. There's traffic on top of it. So it's really complex. And this is where we use AI. And this is such a win to the business. This is one of our main KPIs, actually saving us millions of pounds. Talking about smart stuff, we recently did a research project and delivered grocery with a self-driving van. So you might see it's not very efficient yet because that's just a couple deliveries there. But yeah, I truly believe this is the future at some point. Take the burden of driving from our delivery drivers and get them focused on the actual delivery process. I'm sure at some point we'll have so many vans like the bots on the grid. It will look crazy. We'll all look and wait for a crash and they won't. So let's come back to the lesson for today. I know you're all busy people, but I'd like you, when you come back to the office next week, I'd like you to think a little bit about all your products, about the portfolio of your products, or components of your platform, whatever the setup is, and think about what evolved over time, what was built in-house but maybe doesn't have to be built there anymore. Just review that. Just to leave you with something, these are 3 good resources for your homework. This talk was actually greatly inspired by Simon Wardley and his famous talk, Crossing the River by Feeling the Stones. Very strategic talk. There is a book about customers. It's not about us, it's all about them. And it's also a very interesting take on AI, on the future of AI. What can we do Now, in order to make AI successful or not screw up too much with it, 1billionhappy.org. That's it from me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Great talk. I understand where you're coming from. I mean, going to the supermarket can be very challenging as it is, but I do hope robots do not take over ordering a coffee too. I mean, one thing I do like, and this is also in the Greek culture, I mean, there are many times I don't have time to pop out and grab a coffee, and I just say, go to Kyria Evangelou around the corner and just say, a coffee for Maria. And this is a kind of relationship that you don't get with robots. So questions, guys? So we have one over here. Keep your hands up. Oh, we have a second microphone over there. Thanks.
Hi. I have one question and two comments. The question is, how do you succeed the same level of customer experience without a physical store presence? For example, in New York, Amazon, they make the Amazon store, but the goods within the supermarket are there. So the customer can touch, can feel, can see the color, of course, can see the price. So what were the challenges to attract more customers without any physical store, just online? This is the question.
Okay.
And there are two comments. I think in your presentation related with the technology and innovation, I think sometimes technology innovation is coming first. I will give you an example. For example, for the iPhone in 2007, there was definitely a disruption for the gesture. So iPhone became very, very successful because it was the first mobile phone to have the gesture movements. And I think your technology, based on your presentation, I think the technology that you bring to us is not about the customer experience, is about the supply chain and the way you develop your business model.
Okay, where do I start? Let's start from the answer
Thank you.
to the question. Thank you. So regarding the stores, traditional stores, there are so many of them already. Do we need to add one more to sell bananas and milk and all the products that people know already? We can use other traditional stores as the showrooms, actually. And this happens with other industries as well. Clothing. How many of you started buying your T-shirts or whatever online? You go to a shop, you touch it, you touch and feel, see, okay, that's okay, and you come back to your mobile phone to actually order it, right? This is. I need to check the clothes if it fits to me. Yeah, but did you notice that we have less and less high street stores, right? They are showrooms. You go there, you touch, maybe you try it on. If it fits, you might take it, but I can see, I observe this trend, you come back home and you order it online. So I would challenge that I don't think we need traditional stores. It obviously would help the name just to show that we are there, but actually we have our vans. There are a few thousand vans running around the UK, so that's our advertisement. What else was in your question? The service. The service.
I told you about that you bring a technology related with the supply chain. This is my understanding from your presentation.
Yes. Yes, but if we want to provide the largest range of products, we wouldn't be able to do it in the traditional way. We had to design this experience from start in a different way. So we designed Accardo to be online only. We never thought of having stores. And because of that, we could focus on the efficiency, the supply chain. And because our supply chain is, I don't want to say perfect, but it's not too bad, that's why we can provide a better service. And then providing a great service, we can focus on how can we stage the better experience for our customers. So maybe it's not directly related, but it still is. Yeah?
Thank you. And there's another question at the back there.
Thank you. So the customer's the queen,
Yes.
but what's the employer who sits in one place 8 hours per day and just picks left to right?
What's the employee?
Yeah, what's the employee, sorry.
So
I mean, this growth of technology, was it done with keeping in mind the human factor? I mean, does the employee want to move a bit or stay in one space like that? I mean, we are not robots, but we are acting like one.
yeah, we definitely think of our customers like all the human beings around us. We are actually very, very good at this. And we thought about what are the boring jobs that people won't like to do forever? Can we replace the boring jobs and give people something more interesting to do? Something that they can develop in and get better, something that will keep them for some time? Imagine your job being just putting the empty bags to these boxes all day long. Empty bags to the box. Like, how long would you do it for? So we actually do care about employees, about will they stay with us? Will they enjoy what we do? Well, they are staying with us. Obviously, not job is the same, and we have variety of jobs, and some of them are more boring than the other. But yeah, we are trying to invent the new jobs that make it interesting for our own employees as well, and also make their life easier, make it impossible for them to make mistakes, right? To make it less stressful for them.
And one more question.
Does Accardo technology provide business-to-business services to other businesses online or supermarkets as well, or is it only
Yes.
rental?
So we actually split to two parts of the business. One part of the business is serving our customers in the UK, serving Rachel. And the other part of the business is to provide this technology, all these bots, to retailers all around the world. We have some big names out there. I'm not sure if you're familiar with like Kruger or Casino or all these big names. So what we do, we don't want to sell our products there. We want to give them the tools, build the warehouses for them, so they can win their business, their customers. They can provide great service for their own Rachels.
And you can see the technology solutions that get delivered to your other business customers diverging from what you do for gateway or regional.
Yeah, we do evolve, right? So we definitely see the split. But what we are also working on is to bring the brand new technology babies back to the UK as well and use the same technology we sell to other retailers.
And we have one more question over here.
Now? Okay.
No.
So my question is that you made all this automated process in order to save time and to deliver more quality. So my question is, all these robots put all the stuff together in bags or in baskets. So human, should check the quality of the deliverable to the customer. So if this is the case, you lose time checking product by product to check, its condition. So you have cans or paper bags or anything, or fresh fruits that you don't want to be smashed or heat before the delivery. So how do you accomplish that?
So I'm not sure I got the question. Could you?
So you have all these robots collecting products and putting them on baskets, as you've showed in the video. But how do you check the condition of each product before you deliver it to the customer?
Yeah, we have quite a few tools for that as well. So first of all, we still have humans packing the groceries. In the warehouse number 1, there were multiple people packing the same order, which might not be that great because you see someone else before you packed something really terribly, you just stuck things on top of it. So we thought better. In the next warehouse, we thought, how about we have less people packing the same order? That's definitely helpful because if you pack the whole bag, you pack it, you optimize the packing, right? And then we also have on this roller coaster that I showed you before, we have photographs taken on every single order, so we can instantly see is every order like it should be. And also our drivers, before they hand it to the customer, can't walk, turns out, before they hand the order to the customer, they will open the eggs, they will check is everything all right. We have the fragile items that they will double check. So yeah, we have quite a few mechanisms in place. And so far it's mostly humans.
What I meant is that if something is wrong before you deliver, then you lose time doing what the customer would like to do. If, for example, forgot to buy something from the store.
Well, it doesn't happen too often. We prefer to prevent than cure, so we do whatever we can to actually prevent this from happening. However, it will happen, right? This is life. Eggs will get broken, milk will get spilled, but we return the money to the customer. So, and we're trying to minimize this as much as possible. But the same happens if you go to a store, right? You go to a store, you come back, and it's all squashed. Life. It's gone really deep now.
And one more question right at the back there. Can you please stand up?
Hi. I wanted to ask, okay, you said that you had simulation. I guess you did that to test before you take a step further. But still, trying something new like that must have been a huge investment. So, and a huge risk, I guess. So how did the transition happen? Did you try it? Even trying this out for a few customers must have been a huge investment in space, money, whatever. So how did this work for you? And did you do this gradually?
Yes. There are a few ways to go about this. We definitely have a bottom-up culture, so everyone can have a proposal for what can we change. We can try a lot of different things. All our developers have lab days, so they can just develop a quick solution and test it. We do a lot of A/B testing. So we are trying to minimize the risk, go gradual, step by step. But sometimes you do have to take a risk. So occasionally we do make the big steps, but day to day we are doing a lot of small steps.
And thank you for that.
Thank you.
Big round of applause, guys, for Anna.